Hi, welcome to another educational video about screen printing by Catspit Productions. Today is kind of cool little video here. I wanted to show you the screen rack that I got from our sponsor. The screen rack costs, I think the screen rack lists for about 275 bucks. So we got one of these here, and what we're going to do is, because I don't want to build a dark room in my shop right just yet, because there could be some moving in my future, I'm not sure. Instead of building a dark room, what I'm going to do is I'm going to enclose this rack as to be light safe, and that way I'll be able to prep my screens, put them in here, close a little door, and then they'll dry, and then I can take them out, coat them with emulsion, put them back in here, close the door, and it'll be light safe, and then they can dry out, you know, in any room. So in essence, you'll be able to use any room to coat your screens with if you have a light safe ventilated rack that you can dry your emulsion coated screens in. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got some screens in here just to demonstrate. It holds them in there like that. It also takes automatic size screens. They go the other way and they'll stick out a little bit on one side or the other. So we're going to actually extend the sides. We're going to extend the sides as to allow for the automatic screens, but also we're going to end up putting a vent on the top, a little fan. Okay, so I got this for like $6 at Walmart, right? So we got that. And then, of course, I'm going to use black gaffer's tape to do this because it's pretty simple. You know, I'm winging it. I really don't have any plans. I cut the pieces, and I'll show you the pieces. I'm using corrugated plastic. So black gaffer's tape, this was about 20 bucks. Okay, so you got 275, you got 20 bucks, you got $6 for your fan. And then we've got the corrugated plastic. And you know, this is like sign material. And I got 4 sheets of this, 4 by 8. I think it was about 40 bucks. Okay, so 275, you got your 40 bucks for this, you got 20 bucks for your tape, and $6 for your screen. So do the math, and that's how much this thing will cost me to have a light safe drying rack. So I've already cut out all my panels for all the sides. I've got 2 for the top and bottom to make a little vent. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape on the sides. We're going to tape the 3 sides on first, the sides and the back. And then I'll do the bottom and then the top. And then the last thing will be the door. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so it's been a little bit of an endeavor here, taping. It was killer on my knees. So I had to get a rag to kneel on, and as you can see, I've used probably what, almost half of my roll, and I've got the sides on. I got all the sides on, and I even have the bottom on, and I was able to do this little louvered, it's like a louvered vent as to be a blind vent. So there's a little hole on this side, but then there's another secondary bottom, and then there's a little hole at the back. So the air comes down down here. It'll go through this hole, through the slot, and out the back hole. So it's kind of going like this. So there's a hole, there's holes at opposite ends. And that will hopefully block enough light for me being on the bottom side rather than on the top. It'll block enough light and be fine. If not, I can always use a piece of dark screen mesh or some kind of screen material, like for your screen door or something that's going to be a little dark. Or I could build another outside louver box or whatever. But I think it's probably going to be fine. The light that comes through there will bounce and be absorbed in between that kind of a baffle. It's kind of like a light baffle. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and work on the top. And I'm not quite sure how I'm doing the top. You know, the bottom I had to cut in 2 pieces so that I could splice it into the sides, and then I taped it in the middle. You know, so I'll have to see what we do for the top. But, you know, so far, you know, it looks like it's going to work quite well. All right, so let's continue. Okay, so now the entire box is basically done. It's closed all around. It's not quite square, you know, but it's pretty strong. Now what I have left to do, what I have to do is, you see I've made the door, okay, but what I have to do now is I have to figure out how exactly my door is going to close. What I'm going to use to get this corner and this corner, most importantly, light safe. This bottom corner is less you know, significant or less important because it's down the bottom and most of the light will, you know, in your building will be coming from above. So as long as you don't have like a mirror underneath there or something, it's not really going to bounce back up. So all I need is a little piece of felt for each side here, and what I'll probably do is I'll make some kind of gaffer's tape flap that flaps over the top and flaps over the side and just kind of sticks a little bit, kind of like that one, except maybe, you know, longer. Okay, and I also have to test. I've got the fan in here, and I know right away that I could never load this up with screens coated with emulsion. If I loaded each one of these things with screens coated with emulsion, they would never dry in here. So I'm probably only going to be able to load every other rack, and I have to test it to see whether or not there's enough airflow to dry the screens properly. So the first time I use this is kind of going to be a big test as far as whether or not I have the proper airflow to dry the screens and not cause any dwelling. And you know, when I use it, I'm going to want to make sure it's somewhat level. It doesn't have to be perfectly level, but if it's really crooked and you coat your screens with a heavy emulsion, you know, a heavy coat of emulsion, it can cause dwelling on one side. You know, so you want to just make sure it's pretty level. And that's it. So now you would just test it for light safeness and test it for air circulation, and make sure that you have the proper air circulation. That's going to be really, really important for a closed box like this. You have to have proper air circulation. And I may have to add more vents. I don't know yet. We'll find out when I attempt to dry some screens and see how much humidity is able to get out and all that. So that's it for this video. Kind of a little do-it-yourself project, darkroom on wheels. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. And now we have the new system here on YouTube. Thumbs up. So rate thumbs up. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Please subscribe.